We're back. Okay, so our oven is at 500 degrees with our Dutch oven and our little La Crusette in there heating up. I've pulled the dough out and it's been sitting on the counter while that's been preheating. And then the next step here is going to be to get our dough prepared to go into the pots that are in the oven. And to do that, I've got our pieces of parchment. I'm going to turn one of these over into the middle of the piece of parchment, and then I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to score it. And this you can get a little creative with if you want to. You can make like little feathers, or you can make little, like an olive branch is a really cute thing to do. I just like to do 2 slits on the side, and I'll show you how to do that. So here's our dough that's been sitting in the fridge all night. I'm going to lift it up and out, set this over there, and then I'll be putting this, flip it, boop boop, right onto the parchment paper. And then you'll have a razor blade in your kit. Please be careful with that, because it would hurt my heart so much if you hurt yourself with a razor blade I gave you. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to score the bread just by making like not even that big of a curve, just a little bit of a curve, ba-doop boop, on one side and over here. And it's really important that you do that with confidence. If you like stall or start and stop, it just doesn't look as nice. So now that that's done, I'm going to do it to the other one. Set this off to the side. Go. And plop that down. This one has a little bit more raw flour on the outside of it than the previous one did, so I'm just going to knock that off a little bit. Just because, again, nobody likes to bite into a big chunk of raw flour. Or maybe you do. I'm not judging you. I'll even use the razor blade a little bit to like scrape some of that off of there. Okay. And then do the same thing. I'll score it there. And actually, on this side, maybe I'll do a little, I'll show you a little like design that you can do. So I did 1 slit, and then I just do tiny little tick marks down the way on either side. And I'll show you how that turns out when it comes out, and then I'll do one on the other side as well. Okay, so those are scored and ready to go in. This part, please be extremely careful, because a 500-degree oven is no joke. So I'm going to lift these out. I'm going to put them on the top of the stove top. I'm going to lift my bread from the corners of the parchment and pop them into the pot, and then put the lid back on the pot and pop it back into the oven. Those are both in there. The next step is to turn the oven down to 425 degrees for 18 minutes, and then you take the lid off of your containers and do another 7 to 8 minutes to get that crust to form. Okay, I'll see you back here in a little bit, and we'll do the last little bit of the loaves, and then I'll show you what they look like. We're back, and our bread is coming out of the oven. So when it comes out of the oven, obviously be careful. This has been sitting out for 5 minutes, and this is our beautiful loaf of bread. Looks beautiful on the bottom, looks beautiful on the top. I wish you could smell it. Ideally, you can smell it, because ideally you are making bread right now with us as well. I hope this was helpful. We love you guys so much. There are 100,000 variables that you can use to make different types of bread, to affect the consistency of the bread, to affect the crumb of the bread, to affect the outer shell of the bread. You can use a like baking soda and water mixture to make it more crackly and crunchy on top. So I encourage you to go out and do some research, and like I'm a dork, but I keep a little sourdough journal where I keep track of like what variable I did this time and how the results were, so I can get my perfect loaf of sour bread down. So hopefully this was helpful, and we love you guys so much. Merry Christmas, or whatever time of year you are watching this. We hope it was educational, and we hope we get to eat some of your sourdough.